I'm gonna need you guys' help later in this video because I have a decision I'm trying to make that I can't figure out myself. So stick around and make sure you can get your 2 cents in on that. Well, we're back in the garage working on Deathtrap. And I've done a little bit of work off camera, just simple, niggly little busy work that you guys don't want to or need to see. I made the line from the bottom of the scavenge tank over to the scavenge pump. I got that broken bolt finally out of the manifold. I found a port in the block and added the oil supply line for the turbo. Now I've got the first piece of the exhaust hooked back up to the exhaust manifold, and we're ready to start putting some of the piping back in, because today at work I figured out my spring pressures on my wastegate, and I have the wastegate set to about 6.5, 7 pounds right now. So we're ready to put the turbo back on, and I'm only a couple fittings away from finishing the oiling system completely. The reason we got to put the turbo back on is I got a bunch of random straights, 90s, 45s, and couplers from max speeding rods from Amazon. And we're going to try and plumb the intake side of our turbo setup. There are a few things we have to install. First thing being our little piece of pipe with our blow-off valve. And the second piece being a little weldable bung that is 3/8 female NPT. And the reason I need this little NPT bung is for my intake air temp sensor. I don't know how many of you are familiar with late 90s and early 2000s Cavaliers and Sunfires, but they had an intake temperature sensor that just pushed through a rubber grommet into the air box. Well, that's not really going to work for this setup because, you know, boost. So I have a threaded one that will thread into my little aluminum weld bung once, you know, I attempt to weld this. So the deal with this is there was 2 in the bag because I'm going to attempt to weld the first one. And when that goes extremely badly, I'm going to sweet talk the welder at work and see if maybe he can do it for me because, you know, I'm wholly incapable. But we're going to try because you never know, it might just work out. Now I have TIGged aluminum before, but it was many years ago and it was very ugly. And it was much thicker material than this thin-walled stuff. So we all know that that max speeding rods kit isn't going to be perfect. I'm going to have to cut pipes, and if I cut them, I have to have some way to hold the couplers from sliding off. So I got a cheap Amazon bead roller, and that should hopefully be able to put a nice bead in the end of our pipes once we cut them down. Let's get the exhaust back on, and let's hang this turbo so we can start playing with things that, you know, finally aren't grinding, welding, and cutting. So this max speeding rod kit is pretty good. It comes with 2 90s, 2 180s, 2 45s, and 2 straights, as well as 2 bags of clamps, which don't look that bad, honestly. They're tie bolt clamp. It comes with 2 silicone 90s and 6 straight silicone connectors. So not a bad little kit. Along with that kit, I have a shorter leg 90 that I think I have this from a different vehicle. I think I ordered it wrong a couple of years ago. It's been sitting on my shelf ever since. And I got a straight piece that would hold a blow-off valve and a blow-off valve. Necessary? Probably not, but it might make my extremely cheap Chinese turbo last slightly longer. So now I got to kind of figure out how I want to get all these pipes on this car. Well, maybe not all the pipes, but you know, the ones I'm actually going to need. So the point I'm at right now is basically deciding how clean I want it versus how ridiculous I want it to look. And I think we're going to try to keep it clean looking, and if we can't, then we'll go ridiculous. Now there's a couple ways I've thought of doing this. I could use my short leg 90 and the two rubber 90s here and keep this one really clean, really simple. I do want some flex between the turbo and the intercooler because the intercooler is mounted to the body and of course the turbo is mounted to the engine. So there's got to be some flex there. The 90s do give a whole bunch of flex, but if I use both my 90s here, I got to buy more if I need one here. Right? So I think what I want to do is save this 90 for here and then possibly put another 90 into the car. That's hitting the body, but I mean, I could probably figure out something to do about that. Of course, that means if I'm using my 90 over there, I'm going to have to figure out something else over here. It'll be way over here. What about here? That's actually not a bad distance. Like that's, you guys probably can't see this on camera, but so if I put this short leg 90 here, it's not far off the same distance out as that. Which in that case means I could do something as silly as, I mean, it looks a little bit ridiculous, but that would work and it would give quite a bit of flex, especially if I, you know, fudge it a little bit. Kind of fits the Beetle, doesn't it? Let's call this our plan here for now. Let's go back to that side. So we already kind of looked at putting a 90 on there and a 90 in here and going in underneath the cruise control module, but it kind of hits the body there. So what if we did this? Then I can get some angle, but that puts me too high. So what if we do the same ridiculousness here? You know, keep things symmetrically stupid. If I came under here with this, that gets awfully close to that exhaust is the only problem with that. And I'm not going to come through the exhaust. That would be extra stupid. Maybe we go back to plan A. And I can always shorten this silicone coupler if I have to. So if we do that, and then a 45, up inside, I mean, optimally it'd be nice to have a few less couplers because that's exactly where it's going to leak, but if I come up in here, let's see what that looks like inside. So if we have a look at it from the inside, it actually comes up in here not bad. It clears the shifter on the transmission, it clears all of the lines, the beautiful, beautiful wiring in here. And then over here we have the old intake elbow, which got a new one coming for. I may or may not have drilled a hole in this one for the old intake air temp sensor. And that means we have to have a spot for a straight for the blow-off valve and a straight chunk for the intake air temp sensor, both of them as close as we can get to the intake. So if I cut that pipe shorter and put the blow-off valve down in here, I think that's about the best place for packaging for it. And then I can put one of my 90s right here to the intake and then weld that aluminum bung right into the 90. And I think that'll work good. So I'm starting to second guess my plan on the far side from the intercooler to the intake. So I put some feelers out to some of my buddies and I'm going to see if they like the ridiculous way or the smart way. In the meantime, there is that 145 that I have to cut and bead roll. So I'm going to get after that. So I got the piece cut down. I cut it a little ahead of where I marked it just because this was starting to get a little short. Then I cleaned up the edge on the belt sander and took the deburring tool and cleaned up the inside. And now I'm going to try my Chinese bead roller. So we've never used one before, so we'll just take her slow. And go a little bit every time. And we will see how this works out. I'll get back to you once, I'm done sending this round and round and round 47,000 times. Well, there it is. Pretty good lip in that thing. Honestly, that bead roller works pretty good. The knob is a little small for the amount of force you got to put on it. And you do have to keep quite a bit of forward force on the pipe to keep it from walking off the dies for the first, a couple times around. But honestly, that's arguably a stronger grabbing bead than the ones that the pipe came with. So I'm happy with that. So what I'm torn between is, do we go the tight and clean route and just tie it up inside somewhere so it doesn't rub? I mean, we're probably going to have to make a mount at the back and a mount at the front anyway. Or wild and rowdy. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Looks better, functions better, is just cooler overall. I can change this at any point. And I'm going to go with whichever you guys decide. I honestly don't know which one I like better. On one hand, I love the ridiculous, but on the other hand, I'm sure that the tight clean setup has less silicone couplers to blow apart, less weight, less volume of air. I don't know if that matters or not, but so I don't know which way I would go. I could ask Josh because it's his car, but let's face it, he's going to go with whatever I say. I'm going to leave it there for tonight because I need a couple more pieces to finish fabricating it and getting it how I want it, and then I have to decide if I'm going to try welding or if I'm going to have my welder guy at work see if he can do it for me, because then it's guaranteed to work. But the nice thing is, all this preparation and fabricating is teaching me a lot for when I get back to work on the 49, and it's my car then, and that's where the quality of work matters. I mean, this isn't mine, this is Josh's. So, bad welds, I'll just say he did it. I mean, there's no proof that it was me, like, at all. But I am just loving this whole setup on this car. Every time I come out to the garage for anything, I just gotta stare at it for a minute because it's just ridiculous and awesome. So I have the silicone elbow on the throttle body and to my 90-degree piece of pipe here. And the next step will be to test fit this in the car to determine where I need to cut this, and we'll put another bead in this with our bead roller, because this is actually too long. But before I can put this all in, I have to put the fuel rail back in. That's why I pulled the throttle body. So I'm now waiting for the injector caps to come. Should be here tomorrow, I'm hoping. And then we can get this installed, figure out this pipe, get it cut to length, get the bead roll put in it, and then take it to work and see if the welder man at work can maybe do me a solid and weld that on so I don't have to. Well, the fuel rail's all back in with the new injectors. The top caps came in and the injector adapters came in. I had to change the routing of the return line because it was interfering with the injectors, but that wasn't a big deal. So now I'm only 190-degree pipe away from done. And of course, hooking up the blow-off valve, but this hose is a little short. So I need a chunk of silicone hose to hook up the blow-off valve. I need to weld a bung into my pipe for my IAT, and I need to shorten one or both ends of this pipe to make it fit. Well, now that that's all back together, it's time to figure out how long to make this 90. So I put it in the car, and I found out it's only like 1.5 inches too long. So I'm going to cut this. We'll put a new bead in here. And then I also marked it right here where I'm going to have to get that bung welded in so that I can run the IAT. And once this pipe's done, this thing's ready to make boost. We are one step closer to running it. I've only got one major job left to do. And that job is the wiring. And this is my poorly made schematic. And you're gonna have to wait till next episode to see if this works so that this will work. And I'll catch you guys next week.